What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so this is something that I saw breaking as far as being uh, a trending story on X, on YouTube early this morning, and I want to do a little research before I talk about this, so I can get a better grasp of what actually occurred. Now, I don't have all the facts. This thing happened just several hours ago out in Vegas. But unfortunately, I've warned about this before. YouTube beef can get out of hand to the point where people's lives are in jeopardy. And a YouTuber and his wife were unalived in Vegas by another YouTuber off of, you guessed it, YouTube beef. So the incident, the shooting, occurred at approximately 10:50 p.m. on June 8th, 2025 in Vegas, and it happened at the Bellagio or near the Bellagio fountains. And apparently a YouTuber who goes by the moniker or went by the moniker Sincity Manny shot and unalived another YouTuber who went by the name Finny the Legend. Also, the guy's wife, Finny the Legend's wife, Bubbly, also were unalived. And unfortunately, there's video that it doesn't show the actual shooting, and there's no gore or blood, but you definitely see what appears to be Sin City Manny using a firearm against Finny the Legend. You hear gunshots, and then Bubbly, Finny the Legend's wife, Bubbly, you definitely hear her let out a blood-curdling scream right before shots ring out and the camera drops. And I guess you could just go from there that she was shot and unalived at that point. Unfortunately, I did see a photo that somebody took of her laying on the ground, and obviously she's deceased. I don't want to get too graphic, but you could see a certain substance that had gathered by her head. So I'm assuming that Manny shot her in the head. All right. So what was this about? Well, from what I could gather, this beef had been going on and escalating between these two for about a year and a half. Now, at one point in time, Sin City Manny was well liked by Finny the Legend. So Sin City Manny was basically like I guess he wanted to brand himself as a Las Vegas affiliated influencer. I guess he wanted to have a channel where he basically became the physical embodiment and representation of Las Vegas. Anything that went down in Vegas, go to his channel. He'll tell you about what's, the latest odds as far as bets, or, a certain place as a hot spot to go to, the best places to visit. He wanted his channel to be, and himself to be, as I said, the physical manifestation or an extension of Las Vegas, Nevada. Also, he seemed to take his channel really seriously, right? He took his channel very seriously. And while his channel was not huge, he had 14,000 subscribers. From what I understand, YouTube deleted his channel a couple hours ago. Because I did look up his channel earlier this morning. It said 14,000 subscribers, I believe it said. But since then, when I've been putting his channel in searches, I don't see it anymore. I think YouTube terminated his channel. So like I said, I'll get to that in a moment, man. But YouTube apparently terminated his channel. I was going to make a point about something, but I'll get to that later on. So he didn't have a huge channel, but he had some success. He was getting a few thousand views per video. It was like a middling channel, kind of like mine, you know, almost as big as my channel. So, but not a huge channel, but it had some success. But he put a lot of effort and time into his channel. Finny the Legend initially did not have a YouTube channel. I think he was a Skype guy, right? He does more reaction type things. He reacts to videos, reacts to whatever, right? And at one point in time, Manny and Finny were cool with each other, but then ultimately, somehow they fell out of favor with one another. And then Finny started dissing Manny, okay? To the point where his subscribers or his supporters told Finny that he should start a YouTube channel, which he did. And he spent a lot of time on his YouTube channel dissing Manny. Now, Manny also, and Manny's the guy on the right, Finny's on the left, okay? So Manny also had this thing where he would wear clown makeup like the Insane Clown Posse, and it was just I don't know, like from what I could tell, he seemed like a very eccentric and kind of volatile personality, sometimes even cringeworthy, right? Just from what I've been able to decipher in my little research over the past couple of hours. To be fair, though, because I want to be fair in this video, Finny did a lot of things that I thought were unwise. And he made it his mission to try to destroy Manny's channel. And then it got to a point where Finny created like a parody channel of Manny's. I think it was called Sincity Finny or Sincity Finny or something like that. And basically it was a channel that he used to dedicate to making fun and try to humiliate Sincity Manny. But I think the ultimate, when things really got bad is when they started fake false flagging each other, which you might have heard me talk about is a problem that occurs here on YouTube, where sometimes people, or by extension, their minions, aka their subs, will go flood a channel, false flag it, and sometimes it can lead to community or even copyright strikes, which honestly sometimes shouldn't even be put out there by YouTube. So Sincity Manny started false flagging Finny's channel. He started getting copyright strikes. I don't know whether those copyright strikes on Finny's channels were ever dealt with, but what really started getting under Manny's skin is when Finny retaliated and started false flagging his channel to the point where he had 2 copyright strikes, or at least maybe 2. It might have been community guideline strikes. I know he had 2 strikes against his channel. I'm talking about the guy on the right, Sincity Manny. And then I think on top of that, I think what broke the camel's back, the straw that broke the camel's back when it came to Sincity Manny, was a live stream where Finny was not only making fun of Manny, but his wife. Okay, talking about his wife's build, her not being physically attractive, her being fat or something like that. And when you talk about another man's wife like that, okay, now, you don't know how people are going to take that. That's when you going into an area where, what I'm saying, you making it, it's not even about YouTube anymore. So apparently in the last few videos that Sincity Manny was doing, or some of his last live streams, his tone changed. He seemed like he legit snapped. And he made it his mission that he was looking for Finny, because Finny unwisely, in my opinion, announced that he was going to be in Vegas, which is where Sincity Manny lives. You know, so Sincity Manny, I think his last live stream was looking for my biggest fan, which really meant that he was looking for Finny and he was going to approach him. But I think at that point in time, you know, he already had in his head that he was going to take him out. Because, see, sometimes, man, look, what's fun in games to some people, other people don't find funny. And like I said, it's never any justification to do what this clown did, which is unalive two people, essentially for nothing. YouTube beef? YouTube beef? Nothing. Nothing. And Sincity Man is going to spend the rest of his life, or at least a substantial portion of the next probably 20 years or so, to 30 years, in prison. Because I don't see how you can get off easy on this. First of all, it's premeditated. It's not a spur of the moment type thing, or heat of the moment. You premeditatedly went out there and looked for this guy. And you specifically targeted him. And there's video evidence of it. And we see you on camera. So he's done. And the thing that you most feared, your channel being taken away from you, YouTube just terminated it. And with that, your freedom, because I read that police apprehended this guy after a short-lived chase throughout Las Vegas. So you did all of that for what? Not only did you lose your channel, you lost your freedom. You're gonna lose your wife, lose your. It doesn't make any sense. And I just hope kids aren't involved in this situation, because this is one of the stupidest damn things I've ever seen in my life. But having said all of that, right? This is also a warning about bullying on social media. Some people ain't playing. Some people you can't play with like that. And that's another reason why you should always take any threat seriously. Now, a lot of these times, these guys are just trolls, just saying dumb shit, right? But any threat that you get on social media, you're supposed to take it seriously. Screenshot it, you know what I'm saying? Book it as evidence. And if something happens, you got your documentation. So if you had to go out and, you know what I'm saying, do what you got to do, you got the evidence there. Hey, man, this guy been posting this to me for this amount of time. And, you know, I put in the warnings about it. I put in reports about it. You can go check your system. This guy approached me. I had no choice. Now, that's something different, because some weirdos out here. But this is a situation that was totally unavoidable, man. I mean, excuse me, a situation that was totally avoidable. But, you know what I'm saying, people do what they do because they want content. They want that content. And I'm going to tell you another thing, too. Like I said, I don't know all the details of this situation yet, but I'm almost certain that their subscriber base had something to do with egging these two on to do this bullshit. We'll never learn. We'll never learn. So YouTube beef turns deadly. So rest in peace to Finny the Legend and his wife. And this other guy, man, like I said, you know, just absolute total waste, man. But tell me what you guys think.